Good morning everyone, how are you guys doing today? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, and after that we can start. Thank you for letting me know, and I hope everyone is doing great. I'm doing great too, and I'm looking at Nasdaq. So let's now talk about Nasdaq a little bit. It's looking good today. We have an unfilled new week opening gap that we can target at 8:30. So let's talk about it from the weekly chart. What's our higher time frame narrative is suggesting us to look at today? Okay, other two days were like I was just sitting around doing nothing. So let's see if we can find any setup today, or maybe not. I prefer to sit throughout the Monday session because it tends to be a seek and destroy, more like a seek and destroy. But I do see a very nice target. That's why I'm streaming today, a unfilled new week opening gap. So I want to see with you all if price fills that gap in between, like inside of our macros or outside of our macros. So that's what I'm gonna do today. If I see a setup, I'll take it, I'll mention it, and if I don't see a setup, I'll mostly tape read it, like I've been doing like for last 2 days, right? So on weekly chart on Nasdaq, I'm on Nasdaq weekly chart, we have this rejection block down here. Okay, I don't have any drawings on my chart right now, but once I toggle it on, you will see it on lower time frame, so don't worry about that. We have a rejection block right here, and price already came all the way up, hit the rejection block and got rejected. Okay, there's more things to it, but from the weekly chart, that's what I see, only this rejection block, and there's this small fair value gap, which I believe if this fair value gap is getting broken, we are really bearish, and price will like target this volume imbalance and then this unfilled fair value gap, as we have very high impact news this week. Okay, a lot of high impact news throughout the week. So we'll see, tomorrow is bank holiday, so market will be like very slow in delivery. It's a bank holiday, right? But the day after that we have a very high impact news, so expect to see a lot of volatility. So for today, I'm only gonna be targeting these bearish candles mean threshold. Okay, I have a lower time frame target, which is unfilled new week opening gap, and as you can see on lower time frame, price is moving towards it, but I want to see price providing me opportunity, but it did already before our macro started. Okay, there was an opportunity once I dropped down to lower time frame. I'll talk about it. So my whole outlook from the weekly chart is there. I told you I'm looking at a rejection block which price already used, right? If price is stepping inside it again, that will be like an ideal scenario for us to expect a reversal, or at least not like a big reversal, but I'm expecting to see price reaching for discount, as like throughout couple of weeks price was only delivering buy side liquidity rather than diving into like a deeper discount. It was only offering short term sell side liquidity and then offering like higher time frame buy side liquidity. So on daily chart, we have this rejection block, and price is inside of it, and it already showed us to reject like couple of times. Okay, like right here, our rejection block, the level from this rejection block is at 15,374. so this level is right here. Okay, once I start talking about the 3-minute chart, you will see like what's so significant about this rejection block here. So from the daily chart, what I'm gonna do, there's like consecutive down close candle. I'm gonna measure it, and the mean threshold of all of these consecutive down close candle will be my target. Okay, That's how I trade, and that's how I target in my chart. So I'm considering this down close candle, not this fair value gap, nothing else, anything here, only the mean threshold of all of these down close candles, which will be somewhere here. I have it on my drawings. So on higher time frame it will become choppy. Once I drop down to the lower time frame, it will make sense. So here is our mean threshold. Okay, I'm considering these two level, and we have our BC from the weekly chart, this BC right here, which I think price won't like reach all the way down here today, but yeah, it's our it's our long-term target. I want to see price revisiting this BC this week and getting filled from it, going lower, offering sell side liquidity below here. So that's like my whole weekly outlook. 4 hour, this unfilled fair value gap will be my level of interest. We have like order blocks down here. So if price want to reject and go towards buy side liquidity, it will do so from this fair value gap, because as we know, fair value gap, when it's coming with order block, that becomes a strong PD area. What do I mean by strong PD area? With high probability, this setup is coming with a high probability compared to a normal fair value gap setup. Okay, so I don't want to see a reversal from here, but it's possible as it's a strong PD area. So because of that, I'm only going to consider the mean threshold or the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap, and we have an hourly fair value gap down here. Okay, below it we have a lot of sell side liquidity, and as you can see, the mean threshold of the daily down close candles are here. Okay, which we can use in future as reclaimed order blocks. Right now they're just sitting here as a bullish order block. So for us to use those down close candle as reclaimed order block, that order block will have to fail first. Okay, and do you see how price gets aligned with the relative equal lows down here? So I believe it's a good point for reversal. Okay, and I want to see price like smashing through all of these, which may not be possible today, but in coming trading days I want to see price smashing through, going below this relative equal low, stopping there, and like going into discount and dropping aggressively. That's like the whole perspective. And on hourly chart, this fair value gap is where I'm focusing on, and most like the high probability, my high probability target for today's AM session is the sell side liquidity. Okay, this swing low right here on hourly chart. Now I'm gonna drop down to 5 minute, where you will be able to see, sorry, 3 minute chart, a breaker here. Okay, our rejection block, the line that I mentioned, the rejection block from the daily chart. Do you see how price went all the way up there, hit the rejection block, then went down, and how it is aligning with the breaker block setup? Okay, higher high, new higher high that hit the premium PD area. Okay, we wait for rejection. You don't know that price will reject from there, so we don't basically engage all the way at the top. But sometimes price does give strong confirmation. Okay, and if I see it in my live stream, I will mention it. I like sometimes take early entries, but it depends on what kind of confirmation price is giving me. Here there was like very less confirmation. Price was only reaching for premium PD area, and there was another swing high, sorry, the rejection block from the weekly chart, which price may revisit it. So I was watching this setup. It was outside of my macro, and as you can see, price came all the way up, did a stop hunt, made a new higher high, went lower, closed the candle's body below, this breaker got activated, then a little bit of time distortion, relative equal highs, right? Above relative equal highs, we know that there's a lot of buy stops, and like it's a strong buy side liquidity. And when price respect these levels, that's where I like to trade. Okay, if like in my last stream, you guys saw the price wasn't respecting any relative equal lows, rather it was aggressive towards delivering buy side liquidity, and that's when I avoid trading mostly. Okay, my strategy very less it works on a trending market. It's more like a market when it's in a zigzag position, when market is consolidating in a big range. Okay, that's when you will see most of the breaker block forming. in a trendy market. I'm still working on that, like how to place my trades without becoming emotional, how to spot them in a trending market. But very few times you will see a breaker blocks that are forming in a trendy market, because in a trending market, price is just gonna be offering a short-term liquidity, short-term discount level, and then it will move for higher time frame PTRs aggressively, okay, without giving you a setup. If your bias is wrong, which was in my last live stream, you guys saw it. So I was basically avoiding the whole session. I marked two setups, both of them failed. At the end, I marked like third setup, it gave like a partial. So in a trendy market, I don't have an edge, and some people were complaining about it. I got surprised. Not every day is gonna be a tradable day, okay? So last 2 days was that for me, okay? It wasn't tradable for me, it wasn't going with my setup, so I was basically just avoiding it. I streamed it, so you saw it. So here's our relative equal low down here. Price cleared it out. We have a couple of buy side liquidity resting above here. So let's see if price does a stop hunt. If it does that, we have a very nice target down here, this new week opening gap, which is unfilled. And we had our London session sell side liquidity down here. Price cleared it out. Then we have our Asian session sell side liquidity down here, which is price yet to take, and a very big unfilled fair value, unfilled new week opening gap. So I was expecting to target this new week opening gap inside of our macro, but price is delivering it before our macro is getting started. So I'm gonna wait and see if price rejects from the consequent encroachment or the upper quadrant. If price is rejecting from the consequent encroachment of this new week opening gap, that's gonna be ideal scenario for us to expect a short-term reversal, okay? Price is just gonna be like going towards a discount level, then retracing lower. So that also can make us profitable. So I'm gonna be watching the upper quadrant and the consequent encroachment. Consequent encroachment of this gap will be my main focus, as it's an ideal scenario for us to buy. This red line that you see is our 12 o'clock opening price. So our best buy forms, best short forms above that, and best long forms below it. And we do see a couple of relative equal highs up here, trend line liquidity. So we'll see like what price provides us. If price is just consolidating here, generating like suppose a breaker block, then we can target this new week opening gap. It will all depend on the time. Our time is not aligned with us right now. It's 8:04. We'll still wait. We'll have to wait for like 15 minutes. And in between this time, I'll talk a little bit about Dow Jones. So on the weekly chart on Dow Jones, nothing significant is happening on the weekly chart other than like we are hitting these up close candles, okay? And my main focus will be inside the mean threshold of this down close candle, okay? Price should at least reach there. If it's going for the discount, that's where the discount is. If we are heavily bearish, it will just go below the mean threshold of this candle, okay? So I'm gonna be marking the mean threshold, and that's where my low hanging fruit is. If price is breaking this mean threshold and going lower, then the mean threshold of these down close candles will be my target. And as you can see, the mean threshold of these weekly down close candles got respected right here to the tick. Precision is there, folks. And if you have been like watching my stream, you saw me mentioning about the consequent encroachment mean threshold more than I was mentioning a setup. So in my chart, I basically look for two things: liquidity levels, swing high, all swing high and all swing low, relative equal high and low. Second one is unfilled fair value gap or filled fair value gap. The third thing is the mean threshold consequent encroachment of a week or order block, or a just like consecutive down close candles like here, okay? If you measure it, the consequent encroachment or the mean threshold of it will be here. and price already used it as a support, so I know that once price breaks this level, the same level will work as an inversion. Okay, everything that ICT ever taught us, everything works as an inversion of, okay, everything has an inversion. And if you know how to use it, if your narrative is aligned with it, it's the best strategy, easiest strategy you will ever find, the inversions. Okay, so on the daily chart, we have the rejection block all the way up here on Dow. So our rejection block is up here. From the weekly chart, yeah, I'm only going to be considering the mean threshold of it. So this fair value gap down here will be my main focus of interest in coming trading days. Okay, I'm not only talking about what I'm gonna be doing today. What I'm gonna be doing today is gonna be on lower time frame. I'm basically referring to the this week bias, my bias for this week, and today's trading session will be on based on lower time frame liquidity levels. As it's a Monday, it's gonna be a slow trading day, but I'm hoping to see low resistance liquidity run, and if price is doing that, if price is moving with low resistance, that will generate high probability setup, and I'm basically here for that. So what's so significant about this fair value gap? Can you see it before me mentioning it? Like, what's so significant about this fair value gap? It's this order block down here. Okay, so whenever you see a normal fair value gap, then a fair value gap with order block, you should be considering the fair value gap that is coming with a order block. Okay, it's a strong PDA. It comes with everything in a trading, folks, works with a high probability. Okay, everything based on probability. People say like, we are not gambling. We are basically gambling, but in a professional way with probabilities. So to me, the normal fair value gap comes with a low probability. A unfilled fair value gap comes like higher probability, with a higher probability than a normal fair value gap, and then a fair value gap with order blocks, right, like this, comes with highest probability. Then comes a BPR, which is like one of the strongest fair value gap. So yeah, I hope you understood. So this fair value gap will be my main focus of interest. If this fair value gap is failing, basically I want to see this fair value gap is failing. Okay, like a fair value gap getting generated here, then it's failing, then I can use this daily fair value gap as an inversion to trade inside this fair value gap. And if this fair value gap is failing, I can use this fair value gap to use as an inversion to hunt sell side liquidity down here. Okay, that's how inversion works. It supports your narrative. It's not just a setup. Okay, it's there to support your narrative. It's like a barometer in your chart that helps to decide the bias if you know how to use it. And we have a fair value gap, small little fair value gap on 4-hour chart. Price came all the way up, rejected from it, but on lower time frame it generated buy side liquidity up here. Okay, so I'm not expecting an aggressive drop, rather than a return back to the premium before a drop. And we have this fair value gap, this 4-hour fair value gap, which will be my drawn liquidity for today's session. Because other than that, I don't see anything here other than this fair value gap, which is aligning with our 4-hour fair value gap, which is also unfilled. Even on lower time frame is unfilled in this level, in this separation. The separation that you see right here is unfilled there. Other than that, above here to me is a balanced price range. Why? Because of the back and forth price action that price did right here. So if price is not reaping through and hitting this fair value gap, we are extremely bullish, and we will hunt this higher high here, this swing high. And we have another small little fair value gap, and inside that we have a lot of buy side liquidity. Now I'm going to be dropping down to 5-minute chart. This is our hourly fair value gap, which is here. Okay, above us we have a lot of buy side liquidity, like this Asian buy side liquidity, which price didn't took. Then this London buy side liquidity, okay, which is yet to be taken. So I want to see if price is doing it today or if price is leaving it for like the coming trading days with high impact news. So that's something for me to watch. And here's our new week opening gap right here, and as you can see, price got a very good support towards sell side liquidity from this new week opening gap. So do you see it? Higher high, generated a new higher high, generated a breaker block. Okay, so if price is dropping all the way down here, that will be good. That will be good place for a reversal that can hunt buy side liquidity up here. But let's see if price takes it out today or not. I'm not like forcing any bias today, rather than I'm gonna be sitting still. If price presents something in front of me which is clean, I'll take it. Other than that, I'm just gonna be like sitting still. So let's talk a little bit about this new week opening gap. What's so significant about it? Okay, our 12 a.m. Opening price, I'll mark it here. I think I didn't mark it. Yeah, so here's the opening price right here. As you can see, price didn't went above it. Okay, so that's another reason for me to expect like a bullish price action on Dow Jones. Look at the highs here. A London buy side liquidity is resting here, which price didn't took, and then this 12 a.m. buy side liquidity all the way up here. Okay, that's something unique when price is like not offering buy side liquidity above the opening price. I personally like to see price revisiting it inside the New York AM session. Okay, and that's what my strategy tells me to do. That's what my ratio suggests me to do. With a high ratio, price came back to these levels once price was like leaving it unfilled or going above it like this. So this new week opening gap here, what do you see? Like you can use new week opening gap as a simple strategy to trade from it. Once price is like retracing back to a new week opening gap, you can use it as a strong level of support and resistance. Okay, just like I teach you guys to use a breaker block once price closes a candle spot below the new week opening gap. Okay, and you have lower targets like clean levels, relative equal lows, or an unfilled fair value gap. You can use this new week opening gap to take a trade like here. A breaker block formed inside this new week opening gap. Okay, so your best breaker block setup, I hope you guys already know it, but if you don't know it, hear it. Your best breaker block setup will always form inside of a higher time frame PD area. Okay, a high probability strong PD area will generate a breaker block inside of it. Yesterday at night, our mentor did a breaker block session, and whatever he told there, it was nothing was new to me. Everything related to breaker block I already shared with you all. Like he talked about a breaker is forming like inside of a higher time frame PDA. I already told you guys that. I streamed with that. Okay, I literally outlined setup inside of a higher time frame PDA, and I was talking about a breaker forming inside of it long ago before mentor mentioned it. Okay, then mentor talked about like when breaker gets activated, when's the best time to use a breaker, how to use a higher time frame breaker on a lower time frame, how to target a breaker, everything. If you have been like following me and watching my executions, live trade management, I showed you there. I was taking trades before a breaker was getting activated. It's all there. Okay, so nothing was basically new to me from that lecture. I already mentioned and streamed, which mentor didn't. Okay, all of his theory was on like based on theory, but I was doing stream here, outlining setups live and trading it. So yeah, but I learned a couple of things from yesterday's lecture, and I'll share it on my Twitter feed as a template. Those things are like new to me, and I think it's worth to mention to you all too. Okay, other than that, like if you are watching my live stream, if you have been watching my live stream, you already heard me mentioning about most of the things that our mentor mentioned about the breaker block. So it's there. I hope you are grateful for it. And so that's my whole view on Dow Jones. Okay, I'm gonna be like looking for these swing highs. These are Asian session buy side liquidity. If price is not revisiting here, it's okay. I'm just gonna be doing like tape reading. Okay, my stream is gonna be boring. Okay, if for some of you who are coming here for signals and like consecutive winnings, continuous winnings, it's gonna be really boring for you, because that's how trading is in a real life. Okay, not every day is tradable. Most of the time in a month I'm just trading like 6 or 7 days, and rest of the days I'm just skipping it or demo trading it or tape reading it. Actually I'm only trading like 6 or 7 days in a month. Other than that, I'm sitting still, tape reading, outlining low probability setup and not taking it. Okay, real trading, folks, requires a lot of patience, and whoever talks against it, like some of you were mentioning stuff like that, like I wasn't able to outline any profitable setup for last couple of days, last 2 days on my Twitter. And I was surprised, like not every day is gonna be your profitable trading day. And I was surprised that they didn't learn anything from my stream, as I was outlining low probability setup and avoiding it taking on my live funds. Okay, in a low probability condition. For me, it was a low probability day. For you, it may be a high probability day. But when I have a low probability day, what should I do? Avoid trading that session, rather focus on tape reading. That's what I was doing. Okay, building patience. That took, folks, a long time for me to build. Okay, the newbies, they'll be trading every single day. They will expect to see profitable setups every single day, and it won't happen. A breaker block will always be there. Okay, it will be there every single day, but it doesn't mean that you will be able to trade it every single day and will be profitable. You can demo trade it, you can tape read it, but trading it on your live funds every single day, it's not possible. Okay, to put it simply that way. It never happens with any strategy. It doesn't matter whatever strategy you are using, it doesn't work, folks. And once you grow, okay, as a trader, you will understand it more. For you, if you are a new trader right now, you will be like, okay, if he's talking about a breaker block forming every day, why is not being able to take it and outline it in front of us? You will understand it once you spend enough time with your own chart, with your own pair. It's hard, and that's the reality of a trader. Not every day is tradable. You'll have to sit in a couple of days, be patient, and let the market do its thing when it's not a high probability day. Okay, and that's what the main thing that you all should be focusing on learning, and that's the hardest part. Okay, once you be able to sit still and let a setup go, let a low probability trading day go, that's when you should know that you become the trader you always wanted to be. So that's my whole perspective on Dow Jones. I'll be watching it on my second monitor, and if I see anything significant worth mentioning, tradable, I'll do that. Other than that, I'm just gonna be avoiding Dow Jones, rather than I'm gonna be focusing on Nasdaq. And we are inside of our macro. It's 820, right? Price is yet to fill this new week opening gap. Our Asian low is here, so we know that the drawn liquidity is here, okay, inside of it. So now let's wait and see if price is presenting us a setup before returning here inside this new week opening gap. So I have my narrative. Okay, my narrative is bearish. I want to see price stepping inside this new week opening gap and rejecting from like the consequent encroachment or the upper quadrant from this new week opening gap, and providing like short-term buy side liquidity, returning back to the discount. That's my whole M session bias, and yeah, that's what I'm here for. If price present me anything, I'll take it. If not, it's gonna be boring and I'll just tape read it. The folks who are here to enjoy boring, they will learn something from it. Other than that, I think it will be boring for some of you. So here I see like couple of relative equal high. Here's another swing high, which on I'm gonna be putting 3-minute chart here and 1-minute chart here. So do you guys see how price generated buy side liquidity as relative equal highs? So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna wait for a stop hunt in a significant level. I don't know which level price is gonna use as a stop hunt. I do see this swing high here. Price can use this or can reject from anywhere here. It doesn't matter. Okay, the stop hunt to me is just a confirmation. The main trade idea will happen once price drops. Okay, once price rejects from a significant level. We have this fair value gap here too. So as long as the bodies of the candle are staying inside this fair value gap, it will work. It will also work as a confirmation. So let's see, our down close candles are down here, so that's our breaker block, or at least I'm expecting to see this working as a breaker block, as we have our Asian low down here. This is our Asian low. If I toggle on the, how do I know that that's Asian low? Okay, I'm gonna share a shortcut little technique with you about this indicator, S&D profile, seek and destroy profile by TFO. You can use this indicator. I basically only use it to see where the Asian levels are, and then the London highs, London lows, basically that. Okay, so yeah, it helps a lot to mark out the Asian and London lows and to predict if a session is gonna be a seek and destroy. So let's see what price does inside this fair value gap, and if it takes out this swing high. We have a couple of order blocks down here, so I would like to see like price rejecting from this level if it's going above it, and if it does that, we can look for trade ideas that will target down here. That's our drawn liquidity, which I believe price will reach for at 8:30 with the 8:30 volatility. So this is gonna be our internal buy side liquidity. Price provided external range of liquidity, like here. This level here is this external range liquidity. So after providing external range liquidity, price tends to return back to like internal range liquidity, and here it is, this swing high paired with these order blocks. Let's see if it's reject or not. And keep in mind that this rail line, as you see, it's our opening price, 12 o'clock opening price. So our best short tends to form above it. So if price is going above there, that's also going to be working as a high confirmation for me to push the button on shorts. And price cleared it out, respecting order block. What order block? These order blocks right here. Okay, some of you, I believe, like, are confused using internal and external range liquidity. It doesn't matter. Okay, just a name. If you know how to use, like, once price takes out a major swing low, then returns back to a discount, or major swing high, then drops down to a premium, sorry, a discount, and that's it. Okay, returning back to a premium and then dropping to a discount, dropping to a discount, going back to a premium. That's what it is, internal and external range of liquidity. You don't have to use it if it's confusing for you. Just know that price is returning back to a premium level before dropping hard towards the discount. So price cleared out the swing high. Our breaker block, sorry, the order blocks are here. Okay, no, so now let's see if price want to provide a setup for us here. By the way, I'm not looking at the chat window, so if you guys are talking, I'm not watching it. Prince Red is saying, hi HYDRA, when using breaker block, do you only use it when high reaches higher time frame drawn liquidity? Yes, the higher time frame can be like 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, it doesn't matter, as long as I have my narrative correct. So if I'm trading on 1 minute, then higher time frame for me is 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. If I'm trading on 3 minute, higher time frame for me is 5 minute, 15 minute. So it goes like this, okay? It's not like a specific time, like some of you wanna consider 1 hour as your only higher time frame. No, it doesn't happen like this. In hourly chart, you may see a PD area that is more significant on lower time frame. Okay, what do I mean by significant? Suppose on a higher time frame, on a hourly chart, you only see order block. On 5 minute chart, you will see that order block is coming with a fair value gap, which is making it a stronger PD area, which on hourly chart is not visible. So which time frame should I consider now, hourly or 5 minute? 5 minute, of course, 5 minute. Okay, so that's how I do it. I do see a order block right here, which price is rejecting from. Another order block, that's a very, very nice rejection, and I believe this rejection will lead us down here. Okay, so I'm gonna take this entry, so sell like this, and execution right here at this candle as price is rejecting from this order block. Stop loss is gonna be above the mean threshold or at the mean threshold of these order blocks. Okay, I'm demo trading it. I'm not taking it on my live funds. It's not a setup that I'll take. It's not a breaker block setup. Okay, so I want to see how price does behave down here as we have our Asian low sitting below here. And yeah, let's wait and see how price reacts. And time is also aligned with us. Okay, time is also matched 8:28. It's 8:28. We still have like 2 minutes before the volatility comes in. A partial, I believe, will be good if price is dropping before hitting my stop loss. So I believe this order block should hold. If it's not holding, then price will go there. Okay, and if price is reaching there and going above the 12 a.m. opening price, I'll take the setup on my live funds. This is a low probability setup. Okay, and I took it on my demo. If price is going above this red line, which is the 12 o'clock opening price, I'll push the button on my live funds. So this order block failed, and this one too. So let's see if this 12 o'clock opening price sends us lower or not. Anyway, I'm expecting a bearish price action at 8:30. We still have 30 seconds. Let's see. So Dow is also looking bearish to me. So that's how I differentiate between a low probability setup. If I see a low probability setup, I'm gonna take it on my demo. My high probability setup would have been above this red line. Okay, best short will happen. Always remember, folks, best short will happen above your 12 o'clock opening price. Best long will happen below the 12 a.m. opening price, which price didn't reach for. But here, as you can see, after it hit the mean threshold, okay, so I should have put my stop loss above it, right? That would have been like a good place for my stop loss. But anyway, it was a demo trade, so as long as like the narrative is correct, I will consider it as a winner. So here is the mean threshold, which I was not expecting to see price revisiting, as price already got rejected from the mean threshold of this order block. So I made a tweet on this weekend saying that your best short from an order block will happen from the mean threshold. Okay, and a lot of you I saw not agreeing with me, and none of them does anything like about live stream. They don't come in front of you and do it. Here I'm doing a look from where price got rejected from the mean threshold of it. Okay, higher high, new higher high, down close candles. Let's see if price retest these down close candles or not. So if I was like putting my stop loss above this order block, it would have been safe, right? So that's how we learned from our low probability setup, by demo trading it. Okay, so this is our breaker block price. Let's see if this candle closes below it. Okay, if price wanna reject and go, if price wanna go lower, it will close the candle's body below here. If not, it will just rush back and like not close the candle's body above it. So this is gonna be a high probability setup for me. I'll push the button in my live funds too if price is returning back inside this breaker. So if I put the setup on a narrative in a visual presentation, it will be something like this, targeting these lows, right? So let's see if price retest this breaker block again or not. And why I was saying that if price is closing a candle's body below here, it will remain bearish. Look at 3-minute chart. Do you guys see a fair value gap here? Yes. So if price was aggressively like reversing from this fair value gap, it will remain bullish towards buy side liquidity, as it will also break this breaker block. Okay, so that's why I told you that if this candle is aggressively moving towards buy side and like not closing its body below the breaker block, it will remain heavy towards buy side. And fair value gap with order block, that's why you always should consider to take a partial. The mean threshold of these down close candles is the best place for me to take a partial, which is an inversion down here. And as you can see, price was like showing willingness to reject from these order blocks. So whenever you see a fair value gap coming with order blocks and you are already in a trade, you should be considering this level for a partial. The trading platform that I use on crypto is Qcoin. That's what I basically use, and I've been using it for 2 years. So that's why I would prefer to take a partial if I was trading from this setup. Price didn't retest at this zone, so either I would have like taken an entry as an aggressive, which I missed. So if price retest this zone from this after hitting this mean threshold, I'll take an entry, as there will be a relative equal lows, right? So relative equal low means strong level of liquidity. So I'm open to take a risk down here. So let's see, the whole perspective of this trade is something like this: a return back to this level inside this volume imbalance. Stop loss will be up here, which is above the breaker block, and the TP is gonna be down here. Okay, so that's the whole view. Let's now wait and see if price returns back here. So as promised, at 8:30 inside our macro, a breaker block will form, and it formed. Do you see it? Inside of a PT area, this is a lower time frame PT area. This order blocks inside of it, a breaker block formed. Okay, so what I should have did, like waited for this breaker block to form and then push the button. My push of a button was a little bit early. I was considering this order block and the mean threshold of it, and I was not expecting to see price returning back to the mean threshold of it. So price is returning back to it, and I'll create a limit order here, 5 contracts. It's gonna be a short. So this is the whole trade. Now let's wait. Now the price rejected from the mean threshold of these order blocks. Do you guys see how precisely price rejected from the mean threshold of these order blocks? Whoever the fuck is out there saying you that your best short will only form from a order block as soon as price hits the order block, he is not a live fucking trader. Okay, he is a fucking scammer. Your best shorts, your best buy will always form, like most of the time, okay, from the mean threshold of a order block. Mean threshold. Some of the newbies out there was like commenting below my tweet that it doesn't happen. Like if your order block is high probability, price won't even reach for the mean threshold. They were saying like that, and here I'm showing you examples of price reaching to the mean threshold and rejecting from it. Okay, so avoid those people when you see on my timeline. And there's a volume imbalance right here. So the first setup that I outlined, I should have like worked on the stop loss of that. I should have put it like above it rather than putting it on a mean threshold of it, right? So the folks who say your best short will form from when price only hits the order block, where the price went all the way up, hit the mean threshold and got rejected. Look here, mean threshold is here of these order blocks, mean threshold of these order blocks are here. Price is respecting highly precisely the mean threshold. So your stop loss, which I did wrong, which should be like this, right above the order block, above the mean threshold, or like at the upper quadrant. In this setup, seems like price is not reaching for this breaker block, rather dropping aggressively, which I like to see that my narrative was right to expect to see a reversal. I was outlining this setup right in front of you from this order block. I was telling you that price should reject and hit this new week opening gap, and when I started my stream I told you that at 8:30 we can expect to see price returning back to it. So that's what I like to see in my trading. Okay, I basically don't care if I'm taking a loss or if I'm like doing nothing in front of a chart. What I care about, like, if I was able to outline a setup with my narrative, or if my narrative is correct, if I was able to outline like the zones that I did here, if I was able to do that or not. If I'm able to do that, in the long term I'll make it as a profitable trader. That's what I know. Okay, right now I may not be able to execute properly with sniper entries, but in future this experience will serve me better, like it's doing here. Okay, how did I manage the trade that I outlined here? I was putting my stop loss, which price hit and then got rejected after taking out my stop loss. So I learned from it. Okay, I built in my experience from a low probability setup, how I should navigate in a setup, in a low probability setup, and what should I wait for. I should wait for a breaker block forming at 8:30. Okay, I should not push button. That's how I learned it in a hard way, folks, to only push button in a breaker block setup. And as you can see, I pushed the button from an order block setup and failed. I managed my I put my stop loss and it wasn't that good. It should have been above it. So that's how you learn. Okay, the folks who want to use me as a signal, they took a loss here and they will be cursing me. Get the fuck out of here, you don't belong here. Okay, if you don't want to go, just mention it that you want to go, I'll block you. It's as simple as that. So relative equal lows down here, okay, which makes this target in my eyes a little bit stronger. So let's see if I still wanna return back to this breaker block, and there's a small fair value gap which is more like a BPR. Here, do you guys see it on 3-minute chart? So I'm using 3-minute chart as my higher time frame, and do you guys see how I'm doing it? Yes, I know my narrative from the higher time frame, like the higher one, weekly, daily. That's how I started my stream, but I'm focusing where 3-minute, the liquidity levels. Once I have my narrative aligned with me. Okay, so price hit the fair value gap again. So now let's wait and see if price wanna reject from it. We have this order block down here, which I wanna see holding price. So wait, I'm still waiting. So price hit this order block. Now let's see if it wanna reject or not. Okay, I wanna see rejection. If price is like remaining heavy, I will not take this setup like here. I wanna see rejecting, price rejecting like this. Now that it's rejected, let's wait. And this is gonna be a setup that I'm gonna be taking on my live funds. Okay, I'm done in my entry. Stop loss above here. So should I consider it on my demo or should I take it? I believe I'll wait for 9:30. Okay, like if price is not taking the liquidity from down here inside right now, as it's outside of my macro zone, I'm hesitating to push the button on my live funds. I don't hesitate to push button on my demo account, which I basically don't care. I use it to test out my strategy, to engage on low probability setup, to see like if it's working out or not, to build my experience. On my live funds, I'm more selective. Like, look at the time, it's 8:41, which is outside of the times that I consider executing. I execute my best setup, okay? My best high probability setup forms inside 8:20 to 8:35. Inside that, if a setup is forming, I don't hesitate to take it on my live funds. That's how I do it. And my ratio, my win rate suggests me to take setups inside my kill zones, my macro zones. Other than that, if I'm seeing a setup which is forming outside of my macro, I do it on my demo. Okay, when you see me posting trade management recordings on my Twitter, most of the trades that I'm taking is on demo. Okay, because time is, if a setup is aligning, then time is not aligning. I want to see both aligning together, and only after that I push the button. So here's another setup which I believe price should hold from this order block. If not, then at 9:30 I believe like the volatility should take out the low here. Okay, Mondays tend to be with low probability, so let's wait. And why am I saying it a low probability? If I take you to the Dow Jones chart, okay, what do you see happening on Dow Jones? Dow Jones is aggressively moving towards the sell side. Okay, it has buy side liquidity intact and it's aggressively moving to a sell side. And what's Nasdaq doing? Nasdaq is moving opposite to it. Okay, that's what they should not do. When they do that, it's a low probability condition. So that's another reason for me to not to push the button on my live funds. Okay, so what I'm doing here basically is telling you how I avoid trading low probability setup. It doesn't matter how good it looks, I avoid it. And like this, okay, like this I do it. You should be focusing on it, how I do it. If I like write about it in my Twitter post, you all will like it. Like, avoid trading in a low probability condition. And if I give you some criteria of a low probability condition, that tweet will reach like thousands of people and all of them will like it. When I show it on my live charts, very few like it. I get surprised. That's the reality. That's how you should be avoiding low probability conditions. That's how you should be building your experience. Okay, if you know like when you should be avoiding a low probability condition, low probability setup, and if you know how to outline it, you reach there. Okay, you will make consistent profitable money. Trust me, you will. So that's what a low probability condition is to me, when they both are moving opposite to each other. Look at that. Look at this candle, how it's delivering on Nasdaq, and look at this one. It's dropping, then Nasdaq is going towards buy side. Dow Jones dropping, Nasdaq moving towards the buy side. It's a low probability condition. Look at that, it's in a high resistance liquidity run. So I was right by not pushing button on my live funds, right? I hesitated, and because I built my character like this, I built it, I worked for it so hard to know that when the probability is in my condition, in my favor. Here it's not. Okay, it's a low probability setup, which seems like a high probability setup, like a order block here, then a stop hunt inside this order block, then a couple of relative equal lows. But look at the market condition, symmetrical market condition. Is it favorable? No. Dow is moving one side, Nasdaq is moving opposite to it. When you see things like that, folks, tape read the setup. If you are not comfortable tape reading, then demo trade it like this. That's how you should be using your demo account. And some of you seems like don't understand. It's so hard for you all to understand. Not every day is gonna be your day to make money. Okay, that's the reality. And I believe I'm talking a lot, so I think I should stop, right? Okay, let's look at dollar. So basically I'm not looking at dollar for last couple of days because you know, like Dow is moving opposite, then Nasdaq is moving like another side. They both are moving opposite to each other. So only if I'm looking at Dow, I don't have to use like dollar. If I'm trading on Nasdaq, and I'm looking at Dow is basically behaving like dollar. So anyway, let's look at dollar and see how price is doing and what it's doing. So from the weekly chart, we have this small little fair value gap. Their price already got rejected, and the candles body are staying lower inside this fair value gap. Okay, so what I want to see, if these order blocks down here, folks, on daily charts are not holding and the mean threshold is getting broken, then we are really bearish on dollar. Okay, if the mean threshold of these are not holding. So low probability Monday. Yeah, I believe like dollar is bearish, and my drawn liquidity on dollar will be the mean threshold of these order blocks. Like if price wanna reject, if dollar wanna reject towards buy side, it will do so from the mean threshold of it. If not, if the mean threshold of these order blocks are getting broken, price will go below this level, then this level, then this level, and ultimately revisit this fair value gap right here. So this is the mean threshold right here, which I believe is my draw on liquidity on dollar, the consequent encroachment. 0.5%. And dollar generated enough buy side liquidity to reject from it. Okay, so this level is gonna be ideal scenario for dollar to reject. And look at that, dollar and Q moving together. So in every way, price is confirming to me it's a low probability condition. So should I push the button on my live funds? No, that's what my rules suggest me not to do. Okay, so look at that, dollar delivering sell side. It's just consolidating. It's moving towards sell side, moving towards buy side, consolidation, choppiness. So it's another day which I like mostly avoid. Now that I'm streaming with you all, I'm gonna be like demo trading it like this. So this setup was a low probability setup, and I was right by not executing on it on my live funds. And as you can see, this breaker is not holding price as it was supposed to be. Rather, price is like moving in a high resistance and in a lot of choppiness. So the mean threshold of this order block got broken. Okay, when a mean threshold of your order block gets broken, you should expect to see price hunting buy side liquidity. Okay, that's where if you would suppose you are in a short, you can put your stop loss above the upper quadrant. Okay, or suppose at the midway, and you saw me putting my stop loss here on the midway. So it's best if you are putting like above the order block, your stop loss above the order block. And most possibly, like if you don't want to take that much risk, then the upper quadrant it is. More like a seek and destroy profile. So the mean threshold of this 3-minute order block that I was outlining will be right here. Okay, look at dollar and look at Nasdaq. Is the condition favorable to push the button on live funds? I'm asking to you. Okay, it doesn't matter if your experience is more than me or lower than me. I'm asking to you, do you consider this condition when dollar, Dow Jones, they're moving opposite to each other? when Nasdaq is moving with dollar, then Nasdaq is moving opposite to Dow Jones. It's not a high probability condition, know that. Okay, so the mean threshold of this order block which I was referring to is here, and as you can see, price closed the candle's body above the mean threshold of it, so price should remain bullish and hunt buy side liquidity above here, which I was mentioning just a couple seconds ago. So more like here. So now if the 9:30 delivery is not offering me a high probability condition, like what do I mean by high probability condition? Price going above this red line, which is our opening price, 12 o'clock opening price just hit it. Okay, like look at this, price came all the way up, hit this opening price. So I'm gonna wait, still waiting for a high probability setup. Conditions are right now is not favorable, and my last time zone that I'm gonna be considering to take a trade on my live funds is gonna be inside 9:20 to 9:30. If price is not presenting me a setup inside that time period, I'm literally done for today. So this is our internal buy side liquidity which price just took. Internal, where is it? It seems like it's not here. Anyway, I'm gonna write it. So internal buy side liquidity, and price is now in a heavy premium level. Okay, so I'm gonna wait. 8:53, we still have a lot of time before the 9:50 macro starts, sorry, 9:30 macro starts. And if you look at Dow and ES, a lot of you trade on ES, which I don't. What do you see? In every way, folks, in every way, price is referring to a low probability condition. SMT there, failed SMT, sorry, the failed lower low down here. So all of this movement is because of this SMT. No, there has to be a PDR that price reached for that I didn't saw on ES. Okay, so maybe on ES price filled the new week opening gap, right? Yeah, so it was more like a six sister. Look at that, price on ES filled this new week opening gap, which I didn't saw. Otherwise I would have mentioned it to you all. This is our new week opening gap, right? Price filled it, and there's SMT below here. So that's what I didn't saw. Anyway, I can talk about it right now in a hindsight. So it was more like a high probability setup down here. SMT price filled the gap on other charts like Dow and ES, where on Nasdaq price left this gap unfilled, this new week opening gap. So as I told you guys, like always remember, order block mean threshold is very focus. Look at on Nasdaq here. Okay, so there was a SMT down here inside after price filled the gap. So now let's see if ES is going above here. Where is the drawn liquidity? The relative equal high. So not drawn liquidity, but the relative equal highs are resting above here. So let's see if price reaches all the way up here or not. Yeah, so Dow also filled the new week opening gap, I believe, or yeah, so on Dow is the new week opening gap was here. So anyway, I'm gonna be focusing on Nasdaq, and conditions are getting in my favor right now as our price is above our 12 o'clock opening price, which is good. And here's our order blocks. Okay, mean threshold of the order blocks is here. Again and again I'm showing it to you all that price respect mean threshold of an order block rather than more times than it respects the low of a order block. Okay, mean threshold is right here, but time is not in my favor though. It's 8:57. It's inside of an ICT macro, which I basically don't use. So here's your mean threshold of these order blocks, and what do you see here happening? So what will you tell me their price respected? Look at 3-minute chart. Order block, do you see order block on 1-minute chart? So because of this, folks, because I did a lot of tape reading, I know what to believe, okay, in a setup. I was outlining low probability setup, and I was mentioning it to you that a best short will form above this opening line, and price was near to it. Okay, so from my experience, I saw that most of the time your best selling opportunity will form above it, just like it forming here right now. So I'm gonna wait right now and see like if inside of the 920 and 930 period price is generating a breaker block or not. So this is the only guy I was talking about, charts by MDA. So this was the post. I was referring to order blocks, like your best short in a bearish order block will form inside the mean threshold. I was referring to it as the ideal and the upper quadrant if price is reaching there. Okay, best buy in a bullish order block is from the mean threshold, same, and the lower quadrant if price is going below there. Okay, and I was saying like don't push button as soon as price is order block. Do you see it now in your when I'm showing it to you live? And this so-called trading guru, he said like don't agree, mean threshold is not an ideal buy, sell your best order blocks on go to mean threshold. Where is it now? Look at that, every single time price is reaching for order block is hitting the mean threshold and then rejecting. So let's wait and see if price forms a breaker block here or not. If it forms that, I'll take it. We have CB on 15-minute time frame and mean threshold of order block above. We have CB on 15-minute time frame on Nasdaq. We have a CB on 15-minute. Okay, you are referring to this one. Yeah, like look at that, it's aligning with the opening price, and price hit the order block on 50-minute chart. On 1 minute there's also order block right here, mean threshold of these order blocks down here, price hit it perfectly. 3-minute chart, order block. Now do you believe price is fractal? Whatever you see on higher time frame, the same thing you'll see on lower time frame. That's what folks means when they say like price is fractal. Higher time frame 50-minute chart, there's a order block, fair value gap. Lower time frame, order block. Lower time frame 1 minute, order block. So I'm still waiting for a breaker block to form here. Let's see if it forms here or not. If a breaker block is not forming here, it's gonna be more like a tape reading session so far. And the volume imbalance price got rejected from this volume imbalance, which I didn't want it to see. But anyway, so here's your volume imbalance. The price is rejecting form. Execution, I will make it inside my macro. Other than that, I'll just outline the levels that I believe price is reaching for. So our 12 o'clock opening price is here. Price went above it. Price generated a volume imbalance, hit the volume imbalance, then rejected aggressively. Okay, so these order blocks, I want to see price mashing through this order block, generating a fair value gap here. If it does that and price is returning back to this fair value gap, I'll take it. I'll take it as an entry. Other than that, I'm just gonna wait and watch. So here's your order blocks. Okay, the way I see order block, retails don't see it. Mean threshold of this order block right here, price hit it perfectly, went above. So every single time, most of the time, folks, most of the time, yes, price will hit a order block, right? It won't go to the mean threshold and it will reject. But most of the time you will see price respecting the mean threshold of your order block and then rejecting. So your ideal buy or sell setup will form from the mean threshold of your order block. So price is hitting this opening price again. So what gives me confidence to call market down here? Okay, for the logic I showed it to you on Nasdaq. So there's another logic on Dow. Okay, what I want to see, Dow and Nasdaq, I want to see they both move together, okay, at 9:30 delivery. So okay, so I forgot to talk about that. Another confirmation I'm getting from Dow is that our rejection block on Dow is here, where price is yet to reach. Price hit the discount PDA. There's the inversion right here where price stopped on Dow, but I don't want to see this inversion holding price. Okay, holding price and sending it towards buy side liquidity. Yes, I know there's strong level of buy side liquidity like London session high, Asian session high, which price yet to take, but it's inside this inversion right now and yet to hit this rejection block down here, right? So I want to see price hitting this rejection block on Dow Jones at 9:30, and if that's happening, it will also deliver like at the same level with Nasdaq, and that will generate a high probability setup for me. When they both are moving together, for me that's the high probability condition. When they both are moving opposite to each other, that's the condition I avoid. So this is the rejection block, this whole level. I want to see price either revisiting it or smashing through it. So either way, I'll have a trade idea, a high probability trade idea, if price is doing what I'm expecting to see on Nasdaq. Dollar, I believe a rejection from this fair value gap on dollar should happen. Do you guys see it? That's a fair value gap here, aligning with coming with these order blocks, which making this fair value gap is stronger, and price is yet to reach this fair value gap, which is unfilled, and the mean threshold of these down close candles is what I'm gonna be targeting. Okay, I told you guys that the mean threshold of these down close candles from the hourly chart, I believe, is gonna be my level of interest. Yeah, right here. So the mean threshold is coming somewhere here on hourly chart. As you can see, here's our fair value gap. coming with this order block. So if price want to reject and deliver buy side liquidity, it will do so from here, okay, on dollar. If not, if this level is failing to hold price towards buy side liquidity, dollar is aggressively bearish today. So price hit this fair value gap. Let's see if it wanna retrace a little bit deeper. It's okay if it wanna like move a little bit deeper as they are moving together, okay. If dollar is falling, I'm also expecting to see Nasdaq falling. Okay, look at that, they both are delivering the same way buy side liquidity, okay. So that's how I'm using looking at dollar right now. I want to see they both are moving together at 9:30 and keep moving together. If this fair value gap is failing, which means like my analysis on Nasdaq and dollar is wrong, and Nasdaq will continue to deliver buy side liquidity. And it's also possible as on other charts like Dow Jones and ES, price basically filled the new week opening gap, okay, but on Nasdaq is yet to reach down here. So for me to expect a bearish price action on dollar is gonna be this line here, 103.096 is gonna be the last level. I'm gonna be expecting to see a short setup, okay, bearish price action on dollar. This level is gonna be my last live on a defense. I'm not expecting to see price reaching all the way up there, rather the mean threshold of this fair value gap and then rejecting beautifully, hitting this fair value gap down here, and most possibly the mean threshold of these down close candles. So on Dow Jones we have a breaker. I'm on 50-minute chart on Dow. Here will be a higher high, okay. If you drop down to lower time frame, I'm not gonna do that. I know there's a breaker, so if you wanna dive a little bit deeper, here's your higher high, new higher high, down close candles coming with fair value gaps. Here's our breaker, okay. If this breaker is falling like failing, I'm wrong on my bias, which is basically bearish on Nasdaq. If this breaker is failing to hold price, we are really bearish and price will hunt buy sell liquidity above here. The price generated these relative equal highs. For me on Nasdaq, I believe Nasdaq should provide liquidity towards sell side at 9:30. Why? If you ask me that, look at the relative equal lows down here, and then down here ultimately our Asian low is here. There's a SMT with ES down here, but I want to see price failing inside this SMT. Whatever price is doing right now is basically reaching for the discount PD area, sorry, the premium PD area before dropping towards the discount. And we have a high from the 3-minute chart. I want to see price taking it out before moving lower. And this is our Asian session low, okay folks. I want to see it getting taken out. Relative equal lows. And price, so far price did as I was expecting to see, another higher high forming inside this level right here, okay. Price did it above, price is now above the opening price at 12 o'clock. So let's see what price does. Price is yet to take out this swing high, which is a SMT compared to Dow. So there's your SMT on Dow, like higher high on NQ, higher low on Dow Jones. If you look there, I believe on ES there's also SMT. Yeah, so it's the same thing on ES. What Nasdaq did here is like it generated a higher high, so what that basically gives giving us this breaker block. So I'm still gonna wait for price to match with my time 9:20. If this breaker is getting activated inside 9:20, I won't hesitate to push the button, but it will be good if price is clearing this level out and then dropping, which I don't want to use. I'm not comfortable using rejection block the way I'm comfortable using a breaker block. Okay, so if price is like rejecting from this level here and going below here, I'll think about the execution. But if price is clearing this level out, okay, again, and then dropping, I won't hesitate to push the button. I'm willing to take the risk, I'm willing to take the loss. Okay, I'm willing to risk that money in this setup, as I do see relative equal lows down here, a lot of relative equal lows, then ultimately this low right here. So yes, so the SMT is only remaining with Dow right now. So ES also made a higher high, cleared out the relative equal highs here after filling this gap, this new week opening gap. So I basically don't trade on ES. So but let's see from where price can reject. We have our breaker block, higher high, new higher high. Our breaker block is right here. So that's something you can tape read, like if you wanna execute before the macro gets started. As you can see, there's also setup, there's also clean setup forming outside of our macro, clean breaker block setup. Okay, so it's not only me now that who says that breaker block is one of the strongest ICT concept. ICT himself talked about it in his last lecture from yesterday. He told us that it's one of the strongest PDA in his whole concept, okay, in his whole ICT concept. So as you can see, you can use it as a whole model. Okay, I personally don't like to trade outside of my macros. I don't feel comfortable and I mostly lose, and I don't make consistent money in those conditions. Yes, I do make money, I did, but it's not consistent. So that's something you can work on. As you can see, a breaker formed here. On other charts, look at Dow, you will see a breaker here. Look at Nasdaq, breaker here, okay, which was outside of our macro, and those setups were like clean, really clean, like the way I teach you guys to use a breaker block it was there. Okay, so yeah, you can work on these kind of things, like if you wanna take setup outside of the macro. And here's your SMT that I was referring to. Dow made a higher low, where Nasdaq and ES made a higher high. So let's see if it's holding price and sending it towards sell side liquidity. So price got rejected from this rejection block. It doesn't matter if there's a equal high. Okay, rejection block is here, price got rejected from it. This is gonna be the last setup I'm outlining to you. I'm not gonna be tape reading 950 to 1010 macro. I have no interest to. If 930 delivery is not what I'm expecting to, rest of the day will be choppy, folks. Okay, that's what I believe. So here's our rejection block. I'm just gonna mark it for the newbies. Rejection block is here, as you can see, and we still have 5 minutes. Fair value gap, price hit it, order block, fair value gap with order block. That also makes this fair value gap stronger. Where did it stop? Okay, every single time I see this order block, I remember that folk who was telling me like price will not reach the mean threshold of a order block in a best scenario. Look at that, every single time I see a order block, it's hitting the mean threshold and it's respecting it. This is the order block. Okay, I don't care if you see it as order block or not. To me, it's an order block. And if you wanna learn a little bit more about these order blocks, how I see it, you can watch the video that I made about reclaimed order blocks on my YouTube channel. So if I measure this, okay, if I measure this setup, sorry, this order block, where is the mean threshold of it? If I'm zooming it, where did price stop? Yes, there's a fair value gap. Price revisited the mean threshold. So do you see your best short forming from the mean threshold of a bearish order block? Yes. So where's that guy now who was like telling me that price won't just reach there? I basically avoid trolls, but that was a little bit more for me to avoid. So here's our breaker block. As expected, our best short is forming outside, outside of this opening line. So everything is aligned, time is yet to be aligned. We still have 3 minutes before our macro is getting started. Let's wait. Price already showed a rejection from here, from this rejection block. There's the SMT here, so I'm also gonna mark the SMT. Okay folks, I saw it coming. I saw this setup forming before it did. When price was here, you heard me mentioning that I want to see price going above. When price was here, I told you that my best short, my ideal sell setup will form when price is above this red line, which is the new the opening gap, new day opening gap. Sorry, what am I saying? The opening price, 12 a.m. opening price. Okay folks, so this is gonna be my setup. Dow is way more volatile compared to Nasdaq. Look at the delivery on Dow, it was beautiful. So here's your SMT with Dow. SMT, should I take it or should I let it go? What do you guys think? Take this setup or no? Here's price is activating it every way, so I believe I can take this setup. 918. 2 minutes yet to like activate my macro, so I'll still wait. It's a low probability day. I will not take a early execution. I'll still wait for price to like match with every confirmation. So here's your SMT, Dow Jones. Let's see what price does. Okay folks, I don't like this delivery, this back and forth candles. Rise more like in a high resistance liquidity run. So let's wait price over sell side liquidity down here, which is like the relative equal low. So I'm basically trusting this unfilled new week opening gap, and yeah, retested this zone. I'm in, and I'm also taking this entry on my live funds. I'm willing to take this setup, I'm willing to take this risk, and it doesn't bother me if this setup is failing. So basically the 2R will be down here, I believe. Let's see if it's a 2R or not. Yeah, more like if I'm targeting here, I'll take partials. So more like it's gonna be a 3R setup. With a partial it's gonna be like 2R. So a partial I will take it once price goes like reaches down here, which I believe is price on a reject, it will do so from here. So let's see. So if I'm taking this loss, it don't bother me. Why? When this week started, I took a trade using the new week opening gap, and I shared my execution and the whole trade management on Twitter. If you didn't saw it, you can visit my Twitter account, Twitter handle, and I shared it there. Okay, so this was the setup that I outlined, that I shared, the new week opening gap setup. Okay, if you go on my Twitter feed, you will see it there. I basically like outlined everything and mentioned everything what I was looking at inside this trade management, so you can watch it there. This setup, it basically gave me like 2 partials. So for the week I'm up by 1.5R. So on my live funds I can now take 3 trades, 3 losing trades. That's how I consider my trading. Okay, 3 losing trades, and this is gonna be a losing trade, I guess. Again, yeah, if it's coming out a losing trade, this is gonna be my last setup that I'm outlining, and I'm gonna be basically done for today. So let's see, Dow Jones. If you guys wanna look at Dow Jones, Dow basically hit the rejection block that I wanted to see price hitting at 930. Okay, so here's our level that I gave you guys, this gray shaded box. This was my target, and I wanted to see Dow basically like moving together with Nasdaq, which will be like creating a high probability setup. And this was the drawn liquidity. Price smashed through it. So my target on Dow is matched. So let's see what this setup unfolds in front of me. Yeah, Dow provided a very nice setup from the mitigation block. Also, if I talk a little bit about Dow, okay, I also do see Dow rejecting from the mean threshold. Anyway, if you look at Dow on 1 minute chart, sorry, it's not 1 minute. Yeah, on 5 minute chart, you will see that Dow respecting the mean threshold of its order blocks. So what I was saying, basically, folks, like your best setup from a order block will form inside the mean threshold. Okay, forget about the folks who say like as soon as price hits the order block you should be pushing your button. No, you should wait for price to reach to the mean threshold. That's where the ideal scenario is. So basically another low probability condition, as I'm looking at dollar moved as I was expecting to see, but Nasdaq, look at that, Nasdaq remained choppy, right? It's basically like consolidating. So yeah, look at that. So another setup, I believe I was like very unlucky today. So this was the last setup from my side, folks. I don't care if now that it turned out to be a loss. It was a low probability condition, and so far price did what I was expecting to see. So I'm not regretting that I pushed the button here. I was open to take this risk and it turned out to be a loss. Anyway, let's tape read it, and our target remains the same down here. So basically what I was expecting aligned with dollar and Nasdaq, I was expecting to see this thing happening on Nasdaq. Okay, now that they were moving together, I wanted to see dollar drop, and I told you guys, right, from this level, from the main threshold of this fair value gap, and dollar did, which Nasdaq didn't. Nasdaq was just chopping around inside this fair breaker block, which all of these down close candles, and the mean threshold of this breaker is broken. So let's see if price is if this breaker is sending price lower or not. So it was my mistake that I pushed button in this low probability condition. Look at that. What I was expecting to see on dollar happened, but it didn't. Both suddenly changed. They both are now moving opposite to each other. They were moving together until like price was dropping from this fair value gap, right? And once price dropped on dollar, they started moving opposite to each other, which I was not expecting. So what I did wrong is that I pushed the button today on my live funds, which I shouldn't, right? It's a low probability condition which I should have avoided. Anyway, I saw everything that I consider as a high probability setup, even on this low probability condition. So dollar hit this fair value gap, which I was targeting. So now I would like to see if dollar is rejecting from the main threshold of it, from the main threshold of these down close candles, which will be right here. So I believe you learned something from my stream, from the losses that I took, is that like what you learned. You can learn that when we have a bank holiday on Tuesday and there's Monday will tend to be a low probability day. Look at that. Do you consider this condition as a high probability when everything is more moving opposite to each other? No. So I was open to take one setup. I took it. It turned out to be a loss. I'm done for today. I basically take 2 losing trades in a day. So suppose like there's 2 losses, I won't do any trading. I'll just get out of the chart. But today I was only considering to take 1 loss, because we know that Monday tends to be a choppy day, right? It tends to be a low probability day. That's the reason I was only opening to take one setup. And look at that, this delivery is really bullshit delivery. Dow compared to Nasdaq, Dow is like moving together with dollar and delivering quite a beautiful liquidity. Like, it wasn't a setup that I will take. This rejection price got rejected from this rejection block, so not a setup that I will take. But this is the delivery that I was expecting to see on Nasdaq. The same thing happened on ES, right? The same delivery, like price cleared out the equal high, then it dropped. But on NAS was like not in a mood to drop. There was a SMT, price made a higher high inside of a higher time frame PD area. Price closed the candle body below the breaker. I waited for time to mesh. So there's, I believe, another SMT here. So this breaker is still valid as this high is still intact. If suppose price was going above this high and clearing it out, then we'd have considered this down close candle as breaker. And is it a breaker though? I do see a higher high here. Yeah, so this is the new breaker. Sorry, I was referring to this one. Price did another stop hunt up here. Do you guys see it? It just moved like by a couple of ticks above this high, and this candle has two candles lower to each other. So that's a swing high, another swing high. So price basically did a stop hunt. Your breaker is here. It's 928. So let's see if my narrative is correct or not. Let's see if price is delivering to our sell side at 930. If dollar is moving towards the buy side at 930, Nasdaq should move towards the sell side, right? What do you guys think? What could have I did better here? I wanna know your opinion. So I'm gonna open the chat window, and I wanna know what you guys like saw that I didn't saw in that breaker block setup that I outlined. Okay, price went above the opening price. What could have you did different? Or you did different actually. So I would like to see what you mentioned. So if you do on chat, I'll appreciate that. For me, everything was aligned. Time was aligned. Rejection block, SMT, breaker block. Price was above the 12 o'clock price. So yeah, your A plus setup will also fail just like this. To me, I did nothing wrong. Okay, what I did wrong is to push button today. That's what I did wrong. No one is getting right in this delivery. If you enter at the top here, only the retails are making profit in this trade. Okay, because they believe that a double top should form here, which it did here, right? But there was a SMT with Dow. Me personally, I don't believe, like, I did only one thing wrong, is that I considered to push button even on a low condition day like today, and there was like every reason for me to not to push button. I tried to avoid the loss, which I should not do, which I did. So that's what I did wrong. Look at Nasdaq. I believe I did wrong to focus on Nasdaq today compared to like other pair. ES was moving really good. ES is moving really good, right? Look at that. ES formed a breaker here, closed the candle body below here. This candle went retouched this breaker, so basically gave us an entry on lower time frame, and it's moving towards the sell side liquidity. And the consequent encroachment of this new week opening gap on ES also got respected. This is the level right here, the consequent encroachment. So yeah, better opportunities were on Dow and ES compared to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is just manipulating quite a lot. Like, look at this seek and destroy delivery. It's totally a seek and destroy mode. Look at that delivery. Price is reaching lower but not reaching where the drawn liquidity is, where most of the liquidity is resting, which is inside this unfilled new week opening gap and these lows. This Asian low, folks, is still intact. Price made a lower low here, then it didn't took it. So yeah, so that's a low probability, fucking low probability, and seek and destroy profile, more like a seek and destroy. I knew it's gonna be a range bound day, but I saw when I was like analyzing my chart in morning, I saw this new week opening gap unfilled, Asian lows. So that's what gave me confidence to like call market bearish, which on other pairs were correct. But look at that, they both like are moving together, moving opposite to each other now. Anyway, there I'm not regretting because there wasn't any setup that I could have taken personally. It's all a low probability condition. Yes, I did the wrong thing by engaging at a low probability condition. And price is respecting this breaker up here, this breaker, and if it's continuing to respect it, we have our buy side liquidity up above here, right? Relative equal highs, a lot of relative equal highs all the way up here, which price is yet to respect. And if they continue to move opposite to each other, I believe Dow will deliver buy side liquidity, because Dow has strong level of targets. What level of targets I'm talking about? Asian high, okay, London high, which on Dow is yet to be taken. So yeah, I believe like Dow will move towards the buy side and Nasdaq will continue to do like deliver in choppiness. So this is the positive breaker, this is the plus breaker here, bullish breaker if I put it that way. And look at this delivery. Wow, this is very aggressive delivery. Is there any news today? I believe there's a news at 10 there's a news, ISM manufacturing PMI, but the volatility is coming early. So I believe price will remain in low probability condition, folks. I have no interest to stream anymore, and you saw me taking loss for like 3 consecutive days. If you watch my other streams, if you have been watching me for like 2 months, this is the losing streak that I'm going on. Okay, this is the losing period. Every trader goes on these kind of periods, and if you have been watching me for like last 2 months, you saw me taking winning trades continuously for a couple of days. So it happens. I was expecting it, but the good thing is I know how to avoid couple more losses that 2 years ago I was also taking. Like here, the couple of setups that I outlined here, like 2 setups, they both failed right from the level, and this was a low probability setup. I was able to avoid it. The last setup that I outlined, I took it and it turned out to be a loss. It doesn't matter. Losses will be there, it will be inevitable. So tomorrow I won't do a stream, it's a bank holiday, but if I see anything, I will outline I will outline. And one thing, remember folks, like if you really want to learn trading, and if you believe that you will make it, also believe that you will face losses. Okay, market will do something. Even on your A plus setup, it will do something, and if your risk management is not aligned with you, you will ruin. Okay, so that's where the risk management comes. A strategy is nothing, folks. It don't make you a profitable trader, trust me, it don't. You can use a breaker block setup, you can use an inversion setup, you can even use a trend line, or Ichimoku cloud or EMA. To me, it doesn't matter. Okay, some strategies like ICT strategies are high probability, others comes with a low probability. Okay, so I prefer to use ICT because of the high probability, because of the level of understanding he gives. But it's not the holy grail. The holy grail is how you manage the losses. So I will highly suggest you to focus on how I do that. Okay, I'm making continuous money. I don't have to prove to you that if I have a good bank balance or not. I'm sitting here enjoying my free time. I'm not going to work. I'm not working for anyone else. That's what the best thing for me. Okay, that's enough for me. I'm grateful for the rest of the 10 years that I will not have to work. Imagine if I didn't make continuous money on trading. I would have been like going in the morning shift, doing 2 or 3 shifts, and coming back to a home like tired as fuck. If I'm only making $500 in a day, I'm so fucking blessed. I'm happy. I'm grateful for it. So 1 or 2 loss, 4 loss, 6 loss, 7 loss, if you know how to manage it, if you know how to work on your your mindset, it's nothing, folks. Losses will be there, and the folks who believe that every day is gonna be a winning day and they won't face a losing streak, they're lying. Okay, everyone in this industry face the same losses. Difference is I'm being honest and showing it to you how the reality is. Others, if suppose the other ICT traders are live streaming, they will come and live stream once they have an opening position with opening profit running position. They will come live, talk about some bullshit and go leave. I'm not leaving you. I'm doing it for free. I'm coming here outlining the setup which I believe will work out. Okay, I'm doing it like the way I manage my funds, the way I became profitable, just like this. You heard me talking for like 2 hours. Do you ever heard me getting conscious about my losses or worrying about my losses? No, I don't fucking care if I'm facing like 2, 3, 4 losses. It doesn't matter. Okay, the same losses, these losses that I took, it will be mitigated with 1 profit. If I take suppose like 8 losses, I will only require 3 profitable trades to put me back in profit and mitigate all the losses that I made. So what's the point of worrying? So don't do that. Okay, so yeah, that was something that I wanted to tell you guys. Losses is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. It's like Thanos. Do you guys remember the dialogue of Thanos from the Avengers Endgame, I believe? Yeah, there was a scene like inevitable. He does something like that. So in trading, losses are like that. Okay, it's inevitable. You cannot avoid it. It will happen. And you saw it, like there was a SMT and every single other stuff that I consider about A plus setup, and it turned out to be a loss, and I managed it greatly. Okay, suppose if I was holding this setup, suppose I was getting emotional and holding this trade, look at the price action that happened afterwards. Yes, it moved lower, but did it hit my target, which I was targeting basically? No, it's delivering in a seek and destroy. So I managed it beautifully. I didn't hope. I did everything that what I look for in a setup. Okay, so that's what you'll be focusing on. I hope you found my today's stream insightful. Okay, not profitable, but more like insightful, and I hope you did that. Very few actually come out here and show you the losses that they take live. I do it. I don't fear it. I know that it's normal, and you should know it too. And with that saying, I'm leaving you here. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, most probably at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And take care, folks. And don't trade today, okay? Peace.